So there are a lot of updates, and just please be patient with me, okay? But for the most part, there has been a major obstacle cleared in regards to, you know, um, certain things being settled, energies being moved around, things getting canceled out that were causing unrest and destabilizations. The major destabilization on the planet was the specific networks that got together to create harm against children and the protectors and supporters of children, which is, us that were working, handling our business, doing our artwork, our music, whatever it is that you're doing to uplift the energy on the planet. So, with that being said, it's just what I'm going to tell you next is only just going to give you insight into the warfare that is going on, that is coming to light, that's clearing out certain energies that are causing that dysfunction. One of the things that, is going to come up, I'm going to have a series of videos that I post for you guys on different topics with all the updates in the media articles and the court dockets because things have really moved. So you're going to get all of that. In this specific video that you're watching now, I have a few updates for you that are major to the warfare. So you guys know that there was a serial killer that was exposed in the 37 file that came out of that, and that his job even posted that 37 file on a poster outside of the building to be funny. This individual has now been fired from their job. They are now stating they're a philanthropy consultant, and some of you guys are going to find out or be reminded of the fact that this individual helped start the war on drugs. They had access to the technology where they were sexting me, contacting me through a virtual reality sonic sound technology. They were causing warfare and havoc in the community. They got exposed as a serial killer, and that's it. You guys are going to end up finding out that this person has been implicated in all that, and that's how they lost their position, exposing the warfare and proving it is true. This is also something that's coming up as well. And it's that this individual is now selling their home in Oakland to try to get out because of the warfare that they're experiencing. So things have really moved and shaped. You guys can go ahead and check LinkedIn. If you go on their page, he is saying that he is a philanthropy consultant. He's no longer at the California Endowment. And he is practicing individuals to try and sell his cars and different assets. If you check the LinkedIn, you'll see different comments where he's trying to get his car appraised, selling his assets off to make money to get out of Oakland because of the warfare that he started. I do have to let you know that there is, in fact, a serial killer in Oakland that is lurking. That can actually go on for however long. So that's going to come up later. And this is just really a sign and a testament to the warfare that's happening. That's finally done. It's out. It's over. We proved the spiritual, psychic space, really the space reality. What you would call etheric 5D spiritual is only just space. Right? Space-time continuums are different. Like, you go to different dimensions. Air is different. Water is different. This they've studied is, you're accessing consciousness that it's from different places and from different spaces and dimensions and etc. So moving forward, let's keep on moving. That's gone on. We'll talk more about that later and what's happening around that. There is a specific type of chaos that's continuing to happen around individuals that found themselves in one of the, what you would call, a great disrespect, which is the war that occurred against the factory families, the families that fought, specifically the factory families, and the families that fought in the Civil War. And the attack that came against them in the form of Kamala Harris teaming up with the white supremacist tech network to get access to technologies and playing with them because several things were getting settled in regards to how their families were wronged. And they helped build America. So, one of the things that you guys are going to find out is that this is going to end up coming to light. So, with that, there was the involvement of a certain illicit technology that allowed individuals to create these interceptions and upsets in the processes that were going on to create rectification historically for these specific groups of people. That is bringing a specific level of watch and chaos because of what occurred because of that interception. This I will discuss in more detail. You have to understand and feel it. So let's move forward. I did want to say there's like a lot of chaos that went into this because there was a lot of chaos that was created. You guys also have been watching my channel. You've seen the things that are going on. Hopefully, in my absence, you guys were doing the things that you needed to do to stay up to date. So, I'm gonna go ahead and get into a specific tale here. And this is gonna continue into at least October, September, October, with what you're gonna see that is attached to this. I just want to preface you that this is a serious matter. And I'm telling you this on the heels of Castle Redmond trying to get out of Oakland because that's how serious this is, what they did and what they compromised and what they played with that technology. They had gotten themselves involved in some real foolishness, thinking that the technology was a spiritual playground. And they created an upset and a war that ricocheted and impacted several thousands of innocent people, mainly children. So you guys are finding out that this is what, has been going on. So I wanted to let you know that um, they found the body of this man that had disappeared from Lexington, Kentucky, and they found him in Indiana upon the Ohio River. They had to basically retrieve his jawbone, which they were insinuating had been separated from his body in order to identify his remains. One of the things that ended up happening here is you guys know that I'm uploaded to a virtual reality and that several federal agents have gotten access to it as well because of what happened because they were also uploaded and there's like a war going on where they are using these situations to expose the federal agents who had played this game of warfare that impacted several children and innocent people in order to move certain policies and procedures forward. This individual had gotten himself wrapped up with the specific faction that within days of this being mentioned and discussed, several murders had occurred. After they found his body in Indiana, because basically what's going on with this is they moved him from Lexington. He was trafficked across multiple states and tortured because of what they did. There was also an element of exposure with where his body was dropped because of the interconnection of Lexington, Kentucky, the freeways with Ohio, Indiana. That area is all connected with Chicago as well as Michigan. On the other side of Lexington, you can go towards more St. Louis, Kenosha, Wisconsin, Milwaukee. And they had played a game between that fork in the road, going into those two specific areas and creating war. And after this came out in the media and this came out in the virtual reality and what had come out subsequently, they shot up a city council member's home in Indiana as well. And I just have a few conversations to repeat from when they snatched him to when he was getting tortured. And the rest is going to come out in regards to the autopsies that drop and the exposures that are going to happen mainly in the professional space. And remember, this is on the heels of Castle is no longer at the California Endowment, and he's trying to leave Oakland. And all that needs to just be said regarding the conversations is he basically did not realize that he was going to pass away until a certain information was given to him about what they knew that they did. And from there was the realization of several other demises that let him know that it was going to go much further. So he told. The conversation that occurred then more or less had to do with the exposure of 6 specific plots and plans that they had instrumented within the community. Within days, they had murdered Sadidi. You heard about her. She was 14 weeks pregnant, a rapper from Atlanta. Because of what had come out, because you guys are playing with virtual reality. And it backfired. So I just wanted to say that one of the things that kept on coming out and the reoccurring thing was that throughout the days after this was exposed in the virtual reality, several levels of evidence and articles of evidence had come out to prove true that there is a war going on here against their faction for what they created, and then how they use the mentally ill peoples of color, persons of color, that only care about money, cars, and clothes and homes, that started a war. They used their professional status, he was in the military, army, etc., to then build that faction, give them crack and fentanyl, move money and grants to nonsense, West Coast baddie, bad girls club, and those type of houses and TV shows and things like that that exploded on the internet all at once and created a war in our community. So you guys are looking for, esoterics, tarot readings, talks. You can find that on my other channel. But these discussions are going to continue to happen because they're very serious and critical to what's going on. And this needs to completely stop. It's out of control and ridiculous, and it doesn't need to continue like what you guys are doing to invoke this. Because those are being then used to actually invoke specific levels of surveillance upon your, person and your people. So know that they're going to edit the views, likes, subscribes, shares, etc. on these videos because it's that serious. But you guys are seeing it here now. Why all this though? Okay. So I did want to say that, those 6 plots and plans are going to come out in a series of video. One of them have already come out regarding the A pregnant Atlanta rapper that was murdered. She was shot in the head multiple times. And another woman in her entourage that was also murdered just a few days before her, but she was from Miami. And this reoccurring theme of men being found, going missing, etc., which is blowing up in the media. And you guys are going to be getting a lot of updates in regards to what's happening with public policy around that. Things are really moving really swiftly. So I just wanted to give you guys that, and I hope you guys have a great day. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, well, yeah, they woke up. Yeah, that's completely over. Thank you for doing this.